Hi everyone, welcome to week 14, I think it is. I hope you guys are all doing well. Boy, we're really getting close to the end and things are gonna wrap up here fairly quickly. I hope you're feeling that the end of the course is in sight and looking forward to that. I hope last week went well for you and you got a little bit of breathing room. I did get to meet a few of you in person, which was so fun. We had on-campus intensives and got to do a lot of hands-on things. Students tested out of their physical assessment, which is always kind of a big step and stressful and so nice to have done and behind you. So I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to look into some of the details coming forward this week. So let's look into that. Samsung, I don't need to read that right now. Yes, week 14. So this week is focusing on disorders of endocrine function and disease. This has a special place in my heart. My oldest child, Dylan, who's 27 now, has type 1 diabetes. He was diagnosed going into his senior year of high school? Yes, it was August, right before he started his senior year. I suppose I could have my whole face up here. And perfectly healthy, never had a problem or anything. And told me one day, he's like, Mom, it's so weird. I went to lunch with a friend and I just could not get enough to drink. I had 3 great big glasses of water and just chugged them. And I just had a terrible sinking feeling. I'm like, oh no, I don't like that symptom. And he was his entire life planning on joining the military. And we had actually gone and visited West Point when he was in 10th grade, and we were starting or actually fairly far into the application process, and that was going along, and then of course he was diagnosed with diabetes, and that completely shattered his entire world and took him quite a long time to get over. That was harder for him than having diabetes, is that he couldn't join the military. And the week he was diagnosed, he got a letter from West Point saying he was a competitive candidate, and he got assigned times for his physical to be admitted. So that was very, very, very hard on him. But medically and emotionally, he's doing very well now. His was the wedding that I had in September. So finally, at 27, he's got a continuous glucose monitor, and what else does he have? Oh, an insulin pump. But I can tell you, as a mom, it was really stressful for several years. He, after a year or two of college, dropped out and then moved a couple hours away and was working, and I found out about a year later that he had been in the ICU 3 times with ketoacidosis and never told me. So yeah, stressful, but he's doing well now, and that's a blessing. So little side note, I guess. But so this week, disorders of endocrine function and disease, the normal things to do, like the pre-quiz, reading porths, this week 2 chapters, 40 and 41. There's some animations to watch, an article to read about thyroid storm, a few videos here, none of them are terribly long, about hypothyroidism, diabetes, endocrine gland hormones, etc. There's no midweek activities to do this week. There is a Module 14 assignment. I think it's about 30 questions this week. And then your final submission of your paper. And I just wanted you to review those points for final submission, that just to make sure that you all include features of diversity as it relates to culture, gender, age, in relation to the specified disease process, and be sure to discuss how your own personal faith can be integrated into the treatment options. So I know that wasn't really one of the subheadings for each of the 3 submissions that we've done so far. So I just wanted to really make sure that you all remembered to include that. It should be 8 to 10 pages long, not including your title or references. You must have at least 5 scholarly sources. It must be an APA format, including your headings. So make sure that you all look at headings in your APA manual, because there are different levels of headings, just to make sure that you have that formatted correctly. Make sure that your reference page also is formatted the same way as your paper, as far as spacing, font size, all that kind of thing. Because I saw a few submissions last week that still needed a little bit of tweaking. No need to do an abstract. Oh, in your final submission, your Turnitin percentage needs to be under 15% matching. So make sure that that is addressed as well. Most of you do have it well under 15%, so that's good. I was trying to think when I was reading the papers the other day, I was thinking I need to remember to tell them that. And I think it was mostly about the headings, and the diversity and personal faith. And make sure that each of the headings that we've done thus far, like natural history, clinical manifestations, all of those things are their own individual heading with their own individual information underneath it. Do not clump headings together. There's enough information that can be put under each of those headings that you don't need to combine them. So that's that assignment. You guys are so close to being done with that. So that's very exciting. We'll go back to that. So this week, the assignment, Module 14 assignment, and then your final submission. And then I just thought you'd want to look ahead a little bit. Next week is an STI worksheet. That's not very hard at all and kind of informative. You might want to kind of print that off and keep it with you in your little notebook of things to remember. And then week 16, you're going to do your presentation. And that is an 8 to 10 minute narrated presentation, slide presentation, to include 10 to 15 slides. Don't present one that's 30 slides long. This is your guideline, 10 to 15 slides explaining on the content of your paper. And it should include your introduction, pathogenesis, clinical manifestations, diagnosis, implications for nurse midwifery practice, consider prevention and treatment options, and one of those slides needs to be your reference slide. So that's the next thing coming down the road. I just thought, since you're finishing up your paper, while it's fresh on your mind, if you want to start working on that, that might be a good time to do that, your presentation. And then the last thing we'll have to do in the course is a form response to your peer presentation. So you can look at that stuff if you want, but we're super close to being done, and hopefully you're all feeling that too. If you have any questions about anything or need specific feedback on anything, please let me know. I hope none of you are Bills fans, because the Vikings just won a really good game against them. But have a great week. Let me know if you need anything, and take care.